Hi guys! Hello! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer and you are watching Fishy Pet Keeping. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jennifer as I just said. I do educational videos on aquariums, on different kinds of animals, and in today's video I'm going to talk about myth busting in dogs. No, not in dogs, about dogs. Hello! Selma! Du gullig. Är du söt? Okay, I'm talking Swedish here. Are you cute? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm disturbing you. Hello. This is Selma. She is a mixed breed between a Lhasa Apso and a miniature poodle. She is 11 years old, and I have had her since she was 8 weeks old, which is she was born in 2009. So I've had her for a long time. Not many people believe that she is 11 years old since she's full of energy. She is very energetic. She loves to play, she loves to walk, she loves to greet everyone. She doesn't really like dogs with too much energy because that is I don't know, it gets overwhelming with her, but she loves a little bit calmer dogs like puppies. Though puppies tend to be energetic, so I don't know why. But she doesn't like older dogs though. She's a cranky old lady. Also, if you want more educational videos about fish, about other pets, about dogs, about critters like rodents, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update that I make. Also, if you like this video, then do not forget to click that like button. So without further ado, let's get started. Myth number 1. Wagging their tails always means they're happy. False. I can't say that often when they wag their tail they are happy, but they could also wag their tail in order to hide that they are nervous or anxious. You can see this by, for example, Selma tends to wag her tail when going to the vet, for example. But I can see that she is nervous by looking at her other impressions, like her ears. They are leaning backwards. Her eyebrows look up, I don't know, they look like this, like they're really upset. So wagging their tails doesn't always mean they're happy. Just watch out for the signs that I mentioned right before. Myth number 2. Dogs cannot sweat. Now this is partially true and partially false, because they do have sweat glands in one place of their body, and that is their toe pads. They can actually sweat through these pads that they have on their feet, but they cannot sweat throughout the rest of their body. The way they regulate their body temperature is through their mouth. They stick out their tongue and they breathe really heavily, and that's how they regulate their body temperature. They do like breathe out the heat, or however you should say. So it is partially true. Number 3. Mental training is just as important as physical exercise. This is true. Now, all dogs need physical exercise. Some breeds need more exercise than other breeds, just as some breeds need more mental exercise than other breeds. Like for example, physical exercise. Huskies, for example, they need a lot of exercise. They love to pull, they love to run, they love really nice and long walks, especially in the woods, for example. A lot of different heights of the ground. While maybe a pug, you wouldn't want to give him the same kind of exercise because of his or her nose. These flat-faced dogs have more difficult breathing than other breeds. So if you exercise a flat-faced dog too much, they could actually have a heat stroke because they can't regulate their body temperature as well as a long-nosed dog. And let's get another example with mental exercise. Border collies, for example, they need a lot of stimulation in their brains, because if they do not get that, their instinct to herd activates. So they can actually It could also be that you are teaching your dog different kinds of tricks. For example, when you are training your dog, for example, like sit, don't use your other hand to push the back down of the dog. Often that is very uncomfortable for the dog. So I would actually recommend your dog stands here. You have a treat here. And you're actually leading the dog's nose backwards. Because most of the time your dog will automatically sit down in order to reach the treat, and immediately when he sits down, give him the treat. Okay, so let's move on to myth number 4. You should always punish your dog when he or she has done something wrong. Now this is a wrong... No. I cannot say this enough. No. Of course, when you see your dog doing something wrong, like chewing on something that he or she can't chew on, then you say no. But never get physical, like do this on his nose. No. That just makes him feel really uncomfortable, and you may even lose your dog's trust. When you come home and you see that your dog has trashed the whole house like newspapers, don't punish him after you come home, because your dog may not understand what he has done wrong. If he just sits there, for example, and you say no, and you yell at him and everything, he probably won't even know what he did wrong. He may actually think that you're yelling at him for sitting down and looking at you, and so that can actually do more harm than good. What I recommend, if your dog tends to trash the house or chew on anything when you're gone, then I recommend stimulate their brain a lot before you go. Or get yourself one of those treat balls and give him that when you go away from home. Because often when they do this, they are bored and they will do anything to actually have something to do. And what I recommend too, watch for your dog's language. Okay, so myth number 5. Dogs cannot freeze. This is obviously false. Why wouldn't dogs be able to freeze? All creatures are able to freeze, like even bugs. I think many people believe that they cannot freeze is because they have their fur, something like that. I can say that many dogs freeze less easy if they have an undercoat, like if they have that really soft coat under the coat that you can see, because that undercoat actually regulates the cold, so the body temperature is warm, and it also protects the dog from heat strokes and such during the summer. So I don't recommend shaving any of these double-coated dogs, because that could also do more harm than good. The only time I recommend that is when there's a medical reason for it. But you do notice your dog freezes when 1, they shake, 2, they actually crook their back. You know when you freeze and you kind of crook your back in order to keep your body temperature at a stable point? That's what dogs do too. And the solution to this is very easy. Get your dog an overall or a jacket. Number 6. Something is wrong when your dog scoots or drags its butt on the ground. This is true most of the time, because they could have internal worms or so, because it itches so hard on their butt. There could be something wrong with their digestion, or it could just be something as simple as when your dog has done number 2 and poop is stuck on the fur. Poof! Why do I suddenly have different clothes? Who knows? Magic. A lot of footage actually disappeared for me yesterday when I was recording this, so that's why I have a different set of clothes. Okay, so let's move on. Number 7. All dogs should eat like wolves. This is partially false and partially true. I don't recommend every single dog to eat like a wolf One, because the raw meat may have certain parasites in them. Who am I to say that even kibbles can have that bacteria in it, even though it's not as common? Though I love a raw diet in dogs, I really do. Some people actually think they are 100% carnivores, but if they get 100% meat all the time, then this may cause some problems since they don't really get all of the nutrients that they need from only meat. So the correct way is actually to give mostly meat and some vegetables or fruit. I generally, most of the time, just feed her with the same kind of kibbles all the time. I use Nutrima Digestion because she has quite a sensitive digestive system, and this is what works for her. I do give her some wet food like raw food or canned wet food once a week or so, just to give her a little treat. Just make sure you're giving your dog a trusted brand like Mush, for example. Number 8. Dogs love everyone. This is false, because not all dogs love everybody. Like my dog, like I said before, she doesn't really like dogs with too much energy or old dogs. And she also doesn't really like small children. Like, she doesn't hurt them. It's just that she's a little bit scared of them because they can be pretty sturdy with their hands, and she doesn't quite like that. So the smallest children don't really get to say hi to her. And also, I have noticed many people, just when they see a dog, they go towards the dog and they say hi without asking the owner first. This is a big no-no. Like, for example, if the dog is a rescue, you can't really see if a dog is a rescue. And if you just go towards that dog and say hi, it's your own fault if you get bitten. Some dogs come from a bad place where they don't really trust humans, and that owner is probably working to get that dog to get used to people. And you run the chance of ruining that trust that owner has built with that dog, and the owner has to start all over again. Ask first. If the owner says no, then no problem. It's always better to ask. Number 9. You should show your dog who's boss. This is false. Because dogs are domesticated, they don't have that same instinct with who is the boss and the alpha in the pack. Many people still believe that this is the way to do it, that you should be aggressive towards your dog in order to show them who's boss. But no, this is absolutely not true. Dogs are domesticated animals from the wolf or the Canis lupus. The dog doesn't have the same scientific name. The dog's scientific name is actually Canis lupus domesticus, but they are not wolves. Like, if you would put a dog in a wolf pack, that dog would most probably get killed. So conclusion, you don't need to eat your food before your dog is allowed to. Please don't push your dog down onto the ground, because this will just make them more scared of you and they will lose their trust in you. Number 9. A dog who licks their tongue is always hungry. This is false. Your dog could be hungry, or they could just smell something delicious cooking in your kitchen, but it could also be in combination with other signs. Your dog is uncomfortable, feeling anxious, or discomfort of any kind. If your dog looks around rapidly and avoids looking you in the eye, or maybe you have guests over and for whatever reason they feel that discomfort or uncomfortable, I would highly recommend to just kindly tell your guests to just back off a little bit and let your dog have some space. This is very common when kids play with dogs, because like a lot of children, they are really rough with their hands, and many dogs don't like that. All dogs have a point where they can tip over, and the best way to solve that is by prevention. If they show any signs of discomfort, like moving their ears backward, showing eye whites, maybe tucking their tail in between their legs, then do your dog a favor and don't force your dog to go through that. Now time for a bonus fact. Dogs have 3 eyelids. That's pretty cool, right? Okay, so this is it for today's video. I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to give this video a like. There will be more videos to come, and I will see you in the next one. Happy pet keeping! Bye!